Hello everyone, good day. Amazon. Flash briefing.
Jamie, here's the latest from your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. The National Weather Service warns a fresh new storm system is approaching California from the Pacific Ocean. And Governor Gavin Newsom says at least 17 people have been killed over the past several days by storms. NPR's Nathan Rott says there's also been a lot of damage.
There's been widespread flooding along some parts of the coast. There were some levee failures inland. San Francisco was seeing pea-sized hail for a while yesterday, and this whole storm system isn't over, as we heard from the governor. Mike Anderson, the state climatologist, said in a press conference yesterday there's still uncertainty about how severe the upcoming storms later this week and weekend will be.
NPR's Nathan Rott reporting thousands of people remain evacuated from their homes. The Federal Aviation Administration has lifted its ground stop across the country. That was imposed this morning after a computer system failed that monitors safety for airlines. It's not known what caused the outage. President Biden has been briefed on the situation and says there'll be an investigation. The airline tracking site FlightAware says more than 6,000 flights have been delayed in the U.S. Russia says it will launch a new space capsule to the International Space Station next month to fly back 3 stranded crew members. Their return was delayed after their Soyuz capsule that's already docked to the station sprang a coolant leak. NPR's Charles Maines reports from Moscow.
The head of Russia's space agency, Roscosmos, Yuri Borisov, said a government commission studied options for how best to rescue the Russian-American crew, and with NASA approval, ultimately came up with this one. Borisov said Roscosmos will scuttle its next manned mission to the ISS, instead sending up an empty Soyuz capsule on February 20th to collect the stranded crew. Borisov said the damaged Soyuz currently docked at the ISS would also return to Earth unpiloted. That capsule suffered a puncture wound in December after a small pellet of space garbage penetrated the hull. According to both Roscosmos and NASA, none of the 7 people currently on board the ISS, including 3 U.S. astronauts, were ever in serious danger from the incident. Charles Maines, NPR News, Moscow.
Banker Goldman Sachs plans to lay off as many as 3,200 employees this week. As NPR's David Gura reports, it's navigating a difficult downturn in investment banking.
This is one of the largest rounds of layoffs at Goldman Sachs since the global financial crisis in 2008. And the cuts are due to a handful of factors.
If you lost
First of all, it's a tough environment for the bank, with high inflation and rising interest rates, and given that, there have been fewer companies turning to Goldman to help them do deals or go public. But it's not just the bank's Wall Street business that suffered. It's also failed to make inroads into retail banking. Historically, Goldman has trimmed staff annually, but it put that policy on hold during the pandemic. David Gura, NPR News, New York.
On Wall Street, the Dow was down more than 30 points. You're listening to NPR News from Washington. President Biden says he doesn't know what's in the classified documents discovered in an office he used to use in Washington. Attorney General Merrick Garland has assigned the matter to the U.S. Attorney in Chicago for review. Biden says he was surprised to learn about the records. This comes as a special counsel looks into the possible mishandling of classified documents at former President Donald Trump's Florida resort. The Pentagon is still encouraging service members to get vaccinated against COVID-19. But NPR's Giles Snyder reports the shots are no longer a requirement.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has sent a memo to military leaders defending the mandate as necessary to protect the health of U.S. troops.
You know what else is messed up?
No longer require the shots. Congressional Republicans
if you're not
forced it into
an
the
American
mandate,
citizen,
insisting
you
on a
can't
provision
get into
lifting
the United
it in
States
the
without a vaccination
$858
still.
billion defense spending bill that
messed up.
President
But if you're an
Biden
American
signed
citizen,
into
it's
law
okay.
late last month. It gave Secretary Austin 30 days to rescind the mandate. Austin says the Pentagon will continue to encourage COVID-19 vaccination, and while anyone who refuses will no longer be discharged, Austin's decision still allows military commanders to require the shots in certain circumstances. Giles Snyder, NPR News.
Nobody won the humongous Mega Millions lottery last night, and now it's going to grow even more. The jackpot is worth an estimated $1.33 billion. Mega Millions officials say that is the second largest amount in the game's history. The next lotto drawing for Mega Millions will be Friday evening. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News from Washington.
So what's happening on NPR Podcasts?
More neighborhoods.
More identities. And more perspectives.
The more of the world that you hear, the more you hear the world as it really is. NPR Podcasts. More voices, all ears. Find NPR wherever you get your podcasts.
In NASA news, NASA will host a media teleconference at 9 a.m. EST Wednesday, January 11th to discuss results from the investigation of the Roscosmos Soyuz MS-22 external coolant leak and the forward strategy for uninterrupted human operations aboard the International Space Station. Climate researchers from NASA and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, will release their annual assessments of global temperatures and discuss the major climate trends of 2022 during a media briefing at 11 a.m. EST Thursday, January 12th. Imagine a future in space where pellet beam propulsion systems speed up travel to other worlds, pipelines on the moon transport oxygen between settlements, and Martian bricks grow on their own before being assembled into homes.
No.
A.C. Sharania is NASA's new chief technologist, serving as principal advisor to Administrator Bill Nelson on technology policy and programs at the agency's headquarters in Washington. He will lead technology innovation. A SpaceX Dragon cargo resupply spacecraft is set to depart the International Space Station on Monday, January 9th, returning scientific research samples and hardware to Earth for
Not too
NASA.
eventful today.
In weather.
Alright.
Right now in Seattle, it's 47 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Today's forecast has showers, with a high of 55 degrees and a low of 49 degrees.
Okay, Amazon.
From NASA.
Off. Amazon. Tell us a joke.
Why does a chicken coop only have 2 doors? Because if it had 4, it would be a chicken sedan.
They don't have 2 doors. They have 1. Oh, well, that killed the joke. If you know about your chicken coops, they normally have 1 door, not 2. Unless you're counting if you've got the nest, a hatch, so you can open it up and collect the eggs from the outside, but that's not technically a door. The chickens aren't coming in and out of that. Oy, caramba. Alright. Well, have a great day. I'm off to work. Sorry. Peace.